Beyond the neon glow of Tokyo's skyline and the golden temples of Kyoto lies another Japan entirely. A Japan where time moves differently, where ancient rhythms still pulse through valleys untouched by modernity's rush. Here, in villages so remote they seem forgotten by the world, the true soul of Nippon endures. This is the story of Japan's hidden heart, communities that have preserved not just their traditions, but their very way of being for centuries. Villages where every stone tells a story, where every season brings renewal, and where the line between the sacred and the everyday dissolves like morning mist. Chapter 1: The Village That Time Forgot. In the remote valleys of Gifu Prefecture, where winter snows can bury entire villages for months, stands Shirakawa-go, a settlement that defies the modern world. Here, beneath roofs that rise like praying hands toward heaven, families have weathered centuries of isolation. These are the Gasozukuri houses, literally, constructed like hands in prayer. Their steep, thatched roofs, angled at precisely 60 degrees, are engineered marvels designed to shed the tremendous snowfall that blankets this region each winter. Some of these structures have stood for over 400 years, their wooden frames held together without a single nail. But Shirakawa-go is more than architectural wonder. It's a testament to human ingenuity and community spirit. For generations, the village operated under a system called Yui, mutual assistance, where neighbors helped neighbors, ensuring no family faced hardship alone. When one household needed to retouch their roof, the entire community would gather, turning necessity into celebration. Today, only about 600 people call this UNESCO World Heritage Site home. They are the guardians of something irreplaceable, a way of life that teaches us that true wealth isn't measured in possessions, but in the strength of community bonds and harmony with nature. Chapter 2: Whispers of the Ancient Forest. Deep in the Kii Peninsula, where the Pacific Ocean meets primeval forests, lies Kumano, a landscape so sacred that pilgrims have journeyed here for over 1,000 years. This is where Shinto and Buddhist traditions merge, where the very act of walking becomes prayer. The Kumano Kodo, a network of pilgrimage trails, stretches across 3 prefectures, connecting ancient shrines and forgotten villages. These paths have been walked by emperors and peasants alike, each seeking something beyond the material world. Today, moss-covered stones still bear the footprints of countless seekers. In the village of Hongu, population barely 3,000, stands one of Japan's most sacred sites, Kumano Hongu Taisha. But the true magic lies not in the grand shrine itself, but in the approach. Here, every step is deliberate, every breath conscious. The forest whispers secrets to those willing to listen. At century-old inns along the route, hospitality is elevated to art. Proprietors who have welcomed pilgrims for generations understand that rest here is not merely physical, it's spiritual renewal. In these tatami-floored rooms, beneath hand-painted screens, travelers discover that the true destination was always within. As twilight descends and stone lanterns flicker to life, Kumano reveals its deepest truth, that in slowing down, in walking ancient paths, we don't just visit the past, we remember who we truly are. Chapter 3: Where the Earth Speaks. In the heart of Kyushu, where the Earth's core bubbles close to the surface, lies Beppu, a city born from fire and water. Here, in Japan's hot spring capital, 8 distinct hot spring areas create a landscape that seems almost otherworldly. But venture beyond the city to the village of Yufuin, and discover where nature's power meets human wisdom. Nestled beneath the watchful gaze of Mount Yufu, this settlement has mastered the art of harmony, balancing tourism with tradition, prosperity with preservation. Lake Kinrin, fed by both hot and cold springs, creates morning mists so ethereal they seem painted by celestial brushes.
Look at that
Local
sunrise.
legends speak of golden fish that once swam in these waters, their scales catching sunlight like scattered coins. Whether myth or memory, the lake holds mysteries that modern science cannot fully explain. In the village's traditional onsen, soaking in mineral-rich waters that have bubbled from deep earth for millennia, visitors experience what the Japanese call Hadaka no Tsukiyai, the communion that comes from shared vulnerability. Here, social barriers dissolve as naturally as skin absorbs healing minerals. The people of Yufuin understand a profound truth, that healing comes not from fighting nature's power, but from surrendering to its wisdom. In these sacred waters, bodies mend and spirits soar. Chapter 4, The Floating World's Last Stand. On the shores of Lake Ashi, in the shadow of Mount Fuji, lies Hakone, a realm where earth, water, and sky converge in perfect harmony. For over 400 years, this mountain retreat has offered respite to weary travelers crossing the Takedo Road. But Hakone's true treasure isn't found in its famous pirate ships or luxury resorts, it's hidden in the village of Moto Hakone, where time seems to flow at nature's pace. Here, ancient cedar trees line paths once walked by samurai and daimyo, their massive trunks bearing witness to centuries of change. In workshops passed down through generations, craftsmen still practice yoshiji zaiku, a complex woodworking technique that creates intricate geometric patterns without glue or nails. Each piece tells the story of trees that grew in these mountains, of hands that shaped them with infinite patience. Through Hakone's seasons, nature performs its eternal dance. Spring brings sakura that float like snow on lake waters. Summer wraps the village in emerald embrace. Autumn sets the mountainsides ablaze with maple fire. Winter cloaks everything in pristine silence. In the village's remaining traditional inns, guests sleep on floors warmed by natural hot springs, lulled by sounds that have echoed here for centuries, wind through bamboo, water lapping shores, the distant call of night birds. This is Japan as it was meant to be experienced, slowly, deeply, completely. Chapter 5, The Mountain's Guardians. High in the Japanese Alps, where eagles soar between peaks that scrape the sky, lies Megumi, the last preserved post town of the ancient Nakasendo Highway. Here, at an altitude where thin air makes every breath precious, a community has chosen preservation over profit. For over 60 years, the villagers of Megumi have lived by a remarkable philosophy: don't sell, don't lend, don't destroy. This covenant with future generations has kept their home exactly as it appeared to travelers 3 centuries ago, when samurai and merchants sought shelter in these mountain inns. In the village's historic inns, guests still gather around irori, sunken hearths that have warmed travelers since the Edo period. Here, strangers become friends over simple meals prepared with mountain vegetables and pure spring water. Stories are shared, laughter echoes off wooden beams, and the artificial boundaries of modern life simply fade away. The 400 residents who call Megumi home are more than villagers, they're living guardians of cultural memory. Each morning brings tasks that connect them to countless generations, sweeping stone paths, tending ancient gardens, maintaining structures their ancestors built to last forever. As daylight fades and paper lanterns bloom like flowers along the mountain path, Megumi reveals its deepest secret, that in preserving the past, we discover the eternal present. Here, every sunset is both ending and beginning, every dawn a reminder that some things are too precious to lose. Chapter 6, The Sacred Island's Secret. Rising from the inland sea like a dream made manifest, Miyajima Island has been sacred for over 1,400 years. Its famous floating torii gate draws millions of visitors, but beyond the crowds lies another world entirely, one where deer roam freely and ancient secrets sleep in shadowed forests. On this island where the spiritual and natural worlds intertwine, even the deer are considered messengers of the gods. They wander freely through village streets, their presence a constant reminder that this is no ordinary place. Here, the boundary between sacred and secular dissolves like morning mist over water. But venture beyond the famous shrine to the island's hidden valleys, where small communities have lived in harmony with the sacred for centuries. In these quiet neighborhoods, residents maintain traditions that connect them directly to Japan's spiritual heart. Master craftsmen here still create items for shrine ceremonies using techniques unchanged for generations. Their workshops, tucked away in forest clearings, produce objects of such beauty and spiritual significance that they seem to glow with inner light. As evening tides transform the landscape, revealing and concealing sacred spaces in eternal rhythm, Miyajima whispers its ancient wisdom, that true beauty lies not in the extraordinary moment, but in the patient cultivation of reverence for the everyday sacred. In these hidden villages of Japan, we discover something our fast-paced world has nearly forgotten, that true wealth isn't measured in speed or efficiency, but in depth and connection. Here, among people who choose community over convenience, tradition over trend, we glimpse what it means to live with intention. Each dawn in these mountain valleys and coastal villages brings renewal, not just of the day, but of ancient promises. Promises to honor the past, protect the present, and preserve something precious for generations yet unborn. These are Japan's hidden villages, keepers of memory, guardians of wisdom, teachers of a truth as old as the mountains themselves, that in slowing down, in looking deeper, in connecting more deeply with place and community, we don't just visit Japan's heart, we discover our own. The path to these hidden places isn't marked on any GPS. It begins with a single step away from the familiar, toward the extraordinary that waits just beyond the tourist trail.